Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second day of 12 Days of AUTMHQ. I am Michael Ward Jr., the president and CEO, and I'm excited to have you all connect with our volunteers and with our Autmites. And as always, we have started our Safe Plus initiative, where all of our events provide an opportunity for you to get engaged, but also to submit any feedback that you have on our website. So for those that are looking to provide feedback, please go to our website, scroll down to the bottom in the footer, and you'll be able to provide that information over to us. I'm excited to jump in because we have some individuals that have been with us doing great work, that have been leveraging our services and is making an impact inside the tech space. So now I'm going to bring Ramses to the stage. So Ramses, can you please say hello to our audience?
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and very excited for this event that we're having on these 12 days. So super excited to be here and be a part of this process. So I'm glad to answer some questions and just kind of expand on my experience as a volunteer.
For sure. Well, Ramses, thank you so much for being here, because you could have been anywhere on a Wednesday night and you chose to be here with us. So thank you so much for your contribution, your support. So let's jump in, Ramses, because I want the people to know who you are. So could you share who you are and how you're connected to Austin Urban Technology Movement?
Okay, great. I'll start off by saying I definitely am like some people. I don't have a necessarily traditional background in the tech industry, but I found my way and I figured a way to cultivate my background, which was in emergency management and business continuity, which pretty much set me up to where I am today. I'm currently a risk professional at the University of Texas. And so we focus on a lot of processes that are centered around risk related to a lot of those tech-related resiliencies that we need to focus on for the university. So again, just to answer a little bit more about myself, I've been involved with this organization for about 6 months now. I was very, drawn to a lot of the outreach and community values that they stand on. These were some very core areas that hit near and dear to me, being from a community that necessarily didn't have all of the resources, having access to a community like this where you have individuals who are not only excelling in their career, but can give you that framework in order for you to understand, the opportunities that are out there for anyone that wants to jump into the tech space, was something that I could identify with. Again, just super excited to be a part of this process. Again, these 12 days are something that not only we take advantage of, but those who are involved take advantage of. So Michael has been doing a great job leading this initiative and being, the forefront of the mission for not only the our organization, but the community as a whole. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you as well, Ramses. And as I just think about the comments you said, I think about my own experience, right? Where I didn't have an individual in my middle school or my high school telling me about tech opportunities, right? And what those jobs look like and how you can go on those pathways. It wasn't until I got out of college, right, when I started working at Oracle, where everything else started opening up to me. And I was these conversations, these experiences should have been had a lot earlier in my career. So I'm happy for your support, being able for us to look at it and do this work together, because there's so many different pathways for people to go down.
Definitely. And again, just to caveat off of that, the many areas that we're focusing on with, the advancements of artificial intelligence and machine learning, as we make that shift to where now those are the basis of what, not only companies, but, organizations utilize to assess data and to understand, the basis and the principles of what they do, giving people the opportunity to not only understand what that is, but also figure out where do I fit in within that ecosystem so that I can sustain, a way of life. So.
For sure. And on that note, let's dive a little deeper. So when was the first time that you got connected to the tech industry, and what exactly do you do now?
Okay. For me, I had a non-traditional path, former collegiate athlete, finished grad school. And so I focused in emergency management and homeland security, as I mentioned before. And with that, I had a lot of experience, with the cybersecurity side and understanding that was a resiliency side that we want to focus on. But ultimately, I shifted to business continuity, where we focused on the overarching risks that are associated to many industries. I've done some consulting where I've worked with Electronic Arts in the past, one of the biggest video game companies in the world. And so got a chance to really work with a lot of their processes there. As I continue to expand my knowledge in the areas and the core values that I wanted to focus on, I realized that understanding, the technology aspect may not best suit me to be a subject matter expert, but in my field, I have to talk to the developers. I have to understand their language. I have to understand what it is that they need when they have risk. Again, we're dealing with corporations that have a focus on deadlines and things of that nature. So when there is risk associated, how can we create resilience within that? So again, this organization provided not only a map for me to identify and be around individuals who are very tech savvy and understand those dynamics, but it helps me expand my language and also help other individuals look into my industry. So again, my industry is a very new and unique industry in the aspect that we're kind of those, I guess you could say we're the offensive coordinator when it comes to coordination within business and technology. So making sure that the business side can also identify with the technical side. And so creating resiliency. So there's always a good contingency there. So.
For sure. And I love your background. When I get an opportunity to connect with our volunteers, whether Autmites, and see like how do they get started inside tech, because sometimes it's very early on in their career and their journey. Other times it's much later on, right? Or it's a mixed pathway to get there. So you've definitely been doing some interesting stuff on your side, Ramses. So given your background and your experience, what was it about Austin Urban Technology Movement where you're like, you know what, that's the organization that I want to volunteer with, right? Like I want to be with them as they continue to build and do this work inside the ecosystem.
Well, initially when I first met you, it was at an Austin Area Urban League meeting, and we had a brief discussion where we just kind of talked about the aspects of, there's definitely a miss in certain communities and demographics where there's not access to these opportunities where, I'm from a town of 300 people with one stop sign, not a very agriculturally driven area. So technology isn't something that we truly focus on, but I don't think that should be limited to that just because that's where you're from. And we look at a community like Austin where this is becoming the new technology hub, but there are still individuals who don't have access to those resources to try to stay within the realm of how fast the city is progressing. So once we kind of had that discussion and I realized we were kind of thinking on the same wavelength, it made the most sense for me to be involved in any way I can. And so with that information and just seeing the good things and how much support you had, not only from the volunteers and the people from the city of Austin and different organizations, but also just seeing how much you invest your time and your energy with yourself, your staff, and everyone else who's involved. It was a no-brainer for me to come in and be involved in any way I could come and help. So yeah.
Love it, Ramses. That warms my heart because when we do great work here at AUTMHQ, and there's a lot of people that do a lot of great work, right? A lot of moving pieces, and we have a great partnership, right? So it's not just me, it's not just our volunteers, and not just our staff, but it's a great partnership of everyone doing their work. And I see a question from online, so I'm gonna throw this one on stage. So Akinwande says, has Ramses forayed into Agile or Scrum in risk handling mitigation or anything of that nature?
So I have not had any Agile or Scrum experience, but we focus more with Everbridge and Fusion. So we use a lot of third-party resources where we utilize those to kind of break down the risk related to business impact analysis and things of that nature. So I have heard of those processes as well. Again, there's a lot of different areas that you can dive into when it comes to risk mitigation or disaster recovery. It just is going to depend on what type of organization you work for specifically. And again, I use this term loosely, C-suite or your presidential office, now that I'm on the higher ed side, what areas they want to focus on and prioritize as that important risk. So again, a lot of different areas that you can utilize and understand when assessing those risks. So yeah, beautiful. Great question. Great question.
Thanks for the question, Kawande. Well, Ramses, that's all the time that we have. I know that we could talk all day, but yes. Ramses, please say your farewell while we bring on our next panelist to the stage.
Awesome. Well, again, pleasure to be here. Thank you all. 12 days. It's going to be a great event. I'm glad to be here and have spoken to everyone. So everyone have a good time and a good evening.
Perfect. Thanks, Ramses. And now we're going to bring Amber to the stage. So Amber, could you please say hello to our audience?
Yes, hello everyone. It is a pleasure to be here, and I am so excited to be part of day 2 of the 12 days of autumn.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here because I enjoy this when I get to connect with our volunteers, connect with our Autmites. So let's jump in, Amber, because I know we only have so much time and so much to talk about. So could you share who you are and how you're connected to Austin Urban Technology Movement AUTMHQ?
Yeah, for sure. So as y'all can tell, my name is Amber Jefferson, and I'm a principal industry liaison for information and computer technology. I typically bridge between industry partnerships and cutting edge tech solutions, specifically for workforce and economic development. Let's see, I believe I connected with Autumn in about 2017 through an email newsletter that later helped me land a role as a project manager shortly after completing my master's degree.
Beautiful. And that's what we love to hear, where we're able to help our Autmites on their journey, wherever that journey takes them, because the tech industry is so wide and so many stops along the way. So as you think about your experience inside the tech space, one of my questions I asked Ramsey is, same question for you. When did you get connected to the tech space? Was it when you first reached out to us, or was there a different story for your journey?
Yeah, so my journey actually started, and I vividly remember this because my first real introduction to the tech industry, funny enough, it was not actually my first field of study. I originally entered college studying pre-med. Then one day my mom came home with a study guide for the CCNA certificate offered by Cisco. And she handed it to me and said, maybe the tech field might be like something that you're interested in. And that year I ended up changing my field of study. And all these years later, here we are.
Okay. And that's where, I was at a presentation one time. I was speaking to the audience. I said, how many of you all had people guide you to technology when you were in middle school or high school? Right. That answer is probably very, very few. So the fact that you had that opportunity just opened up doors for you. So I'm happy that it got you connected to us along the way.
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
So then let's ask, what was it about AUTMHQ that was like, this is the organization I want to work with as I continue going through my tech journey?
Oh, absolutely. So I would have to say, I choose AUTMHQ because of its mission, the mission to bridge that gap for Black and Hispanic communities, being Black and Mexican myself, and seeing the percentage of Black and Hispanics represented in the field, that percentage being even smaller for women, really made me want to help promote diversity in tech and give back to the community.
Well, I'm happy that you were able to be here, Amber, because when we're able to highlight what our Autmites have been doing and just highlight individuals that are inside this space, because to your point, those that are Black and Hispanic are still underrepresented inside the tech space. And that's why we do the work that we do. That's why we do the services that we do and put on these events, and to highlight those that are inside this space, working, thriving, and being inside the tech industry.
Absolutely.
So now
continue pushing forward.
Oh, yes. So then on that note about pushing forward, then the last question that I have for you, Amber, before we bring up our next person is, what has been one of the highlights working with and being a part of the AUTMHQ community?
Oh, well, honestly, Michael, I mean, there are several great things about being part of the Autumn community, but I would have to say, aside from everything that the organization has to offer, from digital equity to apprenticeships, I thoroughly have enjoyed the people. I believe the advocacy for the community at Autumn is just unmatched, and it aligns with my passion, and being surrounded by great people who share that same mission and vision always makes for a wonderful experience and just a great community to be a part of.
Yeah, I love that, Amber. And I love the different volunteers we've had along the way, the different Autmites we've had along the way, those that were with us from 2016, right? Before we were an actual organization, we were informal, to those that just met us this year, right? And seen the work that all of our staff, all of our volunteers, all of our partners has done. It's great. So I'm happy that you've been a part of the journey. I look forward to seeing more opportunities with you in the future, and just continue seeing all the great stuff you do inside the tech space.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. You know, here's to day 2 of 12. Very excited to keep pushing forward and keep making a positive impact.
Beautiful,
Thank you,
beautiful.
Michael.
Well, then Amber, we'll let you go, and then I'm going to bring Elijah to the stage. So, Elijah, could you please say hello to our audience and those that are online or watching, please?
How are you guys doing?
Hey, Elijah, thank you for being here, because I know you're a busy man. I know you're a father. I know you got a lot going on your side. So let's jump in, Elijah. Could you please introduce yourself, let people know who you are and how you're connected to our organization?
Yes, sir. So I'm a professional volunteer mentor. I am Elijah Green IV. I am a Salesforce solutions architect. I deal with Salesforce architecture and business process and design. I am a Navy veteran and a father of 3.
Beautiful, beautiful, and I thank you so much for your contribution, because you've been with us now for a while, and then automatically I've been a lot of connections, and I've been seeing you more and more inside this space. So thank you for what you're doing. So Elijah, let's dive into a little bit more about who you are. So when did you get connected to the tech space, and what is it that you do now specifically?
Yes, sir. So I got connected to the tech space, honestly, when I came to Austin, Texas. I was Navy vet. I got my degree in paralegal studies with a minor in business law. I joined the military out of Florida because I wanted to get a better life for myself. I grew up in Florida. I wasn't living right. So I was like, I can't stay here. I wouldn't make it in college at this moment. My mental wasn't correct. So I left to join the military. Thought I wasn't going to go to school. I always wanted to go in tech, but law opened up, started working, was a paralegal for about 6 years. But then I had children, and the subject matter was a little different for me. Long hours and not the best lifestyle. And I left the military to be a father. And then I joined the tech space. I came here to in custody of my 3 children to take care of them. And I was offered an opportunity in mentorship, which allowed me to get into the tech space. And I've been doing it for about 3 years now. What I do for companies, I set up their CRMs and help them drive processes that pretty much help them get an ROI on their business from their leads, opportunities, and any other systems that are integrated with it.
And what part of Florida are you from?
Northwest Florida, Panama City.
Northwest Florida, Panama City. Okay, now I'm from a little farther south, from Miami, Florida, so a little ways away. Love it. So yes, Ekewande. I'm not surprised you're a vet. Well done, man. Yes, Ekewande. Love your comments. Keep it coming, Ekewande. So Elijah, what was it about AUTMHQ that made you say, you know what, I want to volunteer with this organization? Given everything else you could be doing here in Austin.
Oh yes, sir. So I've been all over. I volunteered in other places. The big thing was I grew up a little rough, right? And it's an opportunity to show that, I guess, the dichotomy of what it looks to be Black in this space. We're already underrepresented in Austin, and there's already sort of a perception or expectation of what the Black diaspora looks like. I want to show that other people that there's an opportunity for you. There's no right look, there's no right way to do this, but the opportunity's there, the door's open. I had to do a little extra work to open the door and create those pathways. But because somebody gave me a hand, I'm able to do the same thing for people. So instead of, walking forward and leaving them behind, I want to pick other people up and show them that you can be yourself. You can be a better version of yourself. And there's opportunities for you to take care of your family, do what you want to do, and do it the right way. And the way to get there is through service to others.
Yeah, I love that, Elijah, and I definitely agree, because where I grew up, not many people are having the same conversations I'm having today. So could you just expand about some of the volunteer opportunities you've done with us? Because I know you were at Rethink Austin. I know you've done some things as well with Hannah. So can you just talk about the different ways you volunteered with us?
Yes, sir. We did. Rethink Austin was great, right? It was an opportunity to get in the room and learn about the different avenues in the Austin area, not just tech. You had people from the mental health space that talked about everything from loss and grief to prioritizing expectations to mental health, everything. We did the toy drive, the computer drive, where we went to the Thinkery, right? It was an opportunity to allow access to technology to a lot of families that either didn't have the access or didn't have the funds for the access, because it's a wireless world, right? It's a technology world. So this gave people access to information and opportunities that they otherwise didn't have. And then just going out and being able to be a mentor. I think that's the biggest thing, just to talk about your experiences. Because I will always say that I believe that a lot of people are capable, have the skills, but they haven't had the opportunity to see what's available. And lack of knowledge is more ignorance. It doesn't make you incapable. It just makes you unknowing.
Yeah. And that's why I love our partnerships with the African American Youth Arts Foundation, with Goodwill, with Pflugerville ISD, Manor ISD, because it gives an opportunity to connect with students, right? Connect with those that may not know about the tech industry, may not know about opportunities, and show them, here goes a pathway, here goes the steps. This is what you need to do. Let's go ahead and make it happen. So Elijah, before we run out of time, well, let's transition to my last question that I actually want to ask you is, what has been a highlight working with and being a part of the AUTMHQ opportunity, but also what do you hope for 2024?
Oh, the highlight, just being able to go to those events and go to those spaces. Yeah, Michael, I'll say you, because I'm talking to other people. Michael does a good job of going into different avenues, going into different spaces. So you get to meet a lot of different people, make a lot of different connections. So that highlight is always the people, right? I mean, for the people, like you said, I could be sitting at home, I could be doing a million other things, but I get to connect with different kind of people from different walks of life and different spaces. And you said the vision for next year?
Yeah, just what do you hope for 2024?
To connect with more people, right? I think one of my favorite Tupac quotes is like, I might not change the world, but I might be able to spark that flame that, of the person who can. So it's just touching the right people and getting them an opportunity to win. And just able to connect and enjoy, the bigger family here as Austin grows, whether it's Autumn, BPA, BLC, and all the other great, all the great nonprofits and community activists we have here.
Yeah, and that's what I say here at AUTMHQ, that every day I get to wake up, I get to talk to a volunteer, talk to an Autmite, or talk to a partner, right? And keep it going for us to do great work. Well, Elijah, that's all the time that we have. So I'll let you say your farewells and we bring on our next speaker.
Thank y'all.
Beautiful. So now we're going to bring up Renata to the stage. So I'm excited to have Renata here. So Renata, please say hello to our audience.
Hi.
Beautiful. So Renata, let's jump in. So please share who you are and how you are connected to AUTMHQ.
My name is Renata Estes, and I am currently the marketing coordinator for AUTMHQ.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm happy to have you here. Anytime we're able to bring in our Autmites, is like, yes, let's definitely make that happen. So since you've been here for some time, let's just talk about how have you liked the experience here at AUTMHQ?
I've really enjoyed myself, especially because how I got into this role is I actually started off as an Autmite. So I think it might have been like a year or so ago. It was during the pandemic, and I was trying to find a way to gain some more skills and knowledge or a certification or something that could help me get into the tech industry and perhaps even find remote work while everything was shut down at the time. So I came across AUTMHQ, and they were like, oh yeah, if you're looking for upskilling or if you're looking for another way to get into the tech industry to possibly take advantage of these remote jobs while we're all stuck at home, like check us out. And so I was like, I might have found a solution to a problem I had. So I was like, okay, well, let's see. And that's how I ended up here. And then as I was looking for jobs, AUTMHQ itself was like, oh, well, we're hiring and we like to support our Autmites. So let's go. And I was like, okay, that works too.
Love it, love it, love it. And anytime I hear that an Autmite got a job, it's like, yes, thank you. That's one of the reasons why we do what we do, right? When an Autmite gets a device, get internet, gets the help that they need, it's like, great, let's make it happen. And then when I hear that we're able to hire an Autmite, it's like, yes, even beautiful, love it. Because it's so difficult to find people who are passionate, people who love the work that they do. So thank you for being here, Renata, because we would not be where we are right now without you. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. So then let's talk. What was it about AUTMHQ that made you say, you know what, this is the organization that I want to work with. This is the one I want to be a part of.
Your mission, to diversify tech and to get more Black and brown people into the tech industry so that they could make their own mark and also have influence and also take advantage of the economic, what the tech industry provides economically to different people, for Black and brown people to be able to take advantage of that too, to help their own families and communities. That was something I was definitely here for.
And I love that, Marcom plays a huge role in that, right? And us being able to tell that story, for us to be able to showcase that impact, right? So people can see the different lives, right? Of all walks, of all shapes, all sizes, right? All different zip codes, and the people that we're serving, the people that we're working with, and the people that we're partnering with. So I'm excited for 2024 and allowing us to expand on that mission. So then the last question that I have for you, Renata, before we go on to our last speaker, is that, what has been a highlight of you being a part of the AUTMHQ community? Because you've been an Automite, but now you're also part of the staff. So you definitely have an interesting perspective about what the highlight's been for you.
Yes, I would say that's a good question because of what you said, like being on the outside and being on the inside. I would say the biggest highlight is still seeing how much room there is to make an impact, and how much room there is for growth. That's been the biggest thing, because I know, I don't know, especially right now, just across the country, and there's just a lot of things up in the air, and people don't know what to make of, like, what's going to happen next, and is there a recession? I don't know, just all the things. But I think for me, the biggest highlight is knowing that regardless of anything that's happening, there's still room to help people of color take advantage of tech. Like, tech isn't going anywhere. So to be a part of an organization that's a part of a wave, or I don't even want to say a trend, but to be a part of something that it's not going anywhere, that's something that I'm like, okay, this is cool, because, like, let's see where we can take this. Let's see where this can go.
Well said. I think we could close up shop right here. That's beautiful. And that's exactly why we're called Austin Urban Technology Movement, right? Because what starts here in Austin, Texas, changes the world. Oh, that's such a Texan thing to say. I love it. I love it. Well, Renata, that's all the time we have for you. So I'll let you say your farewells, and then we'll bring up Veronica to the stage.
Okay. Thank y'all for having me.
Have a good one, Renata. And now, last but not least, I am excited to bring Veronica to the stage. Veronica, could you please say hello to our audience?
Yes, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Veronica Jordan Matlock, and I'm a global category manager at NI here in Austin, Texas. Work in the marketing services side, where I procure things like paid ad services, PR agencies, Salesforce, SaaS services, not your previous, your normal things of tech services, but I handle things in that particular area, and also have done some things in the technology and hardware space. So I'm just glad to be here today.
Beautiful, Veronica. Thank you so much for your time, because I know you're a busy woman, and you could have been anywhere on a Wednesday, but here you are with us. So thank you so much, Veronica. So the first question I want to do is kind of take a step back and say, when did you get connected to the tech industry? And what exactly do you do now at NI?
Oh, wow. I got connected in the tech industry in 1998. So it's been a lot of years, okay? It's been over almost 25 years that I got connected with the tech industry, and actually at National Instrument, which is currently known as NI, also a part of Emerson. And I got connected with that as a part of that. And when I first started out, I was working in the area in technical communication, doing documentation and software documentation that NI was producing. So I got really involved into that, and my career just kind of went a different road, different route in different areas, which ultimately led me into the procurement space. Okay.
And how do you like being inside the tech space?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. It's sort of like it's what I do. It's everything that's a part of me. Being a part of NI, being a part of the engineering space, test and automation, and being a part of the new edge technology of things that are happening. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. It's what I do from a day-to-day perspective. And it's also something that I do within my community, that I volunteer with other organizations. So I'm clearly all about STEM and STEM services for those that are in marginalized communities.
So then what was it about AUTMHQ that said, you know what, this is the place where I want to volunteer and give my time to?
Oh, and just listening to the previous lady that was up there, I think one of the things was the mission of Autumn, because one of the things that you guys talk about was bridging the gap between the Black and Hispanic community and the technology industry through varied initiatives. And one of the things of kind of like with me, being a part of that really excited me to be a part of Autumn, because again, like I said, I do a lot of volunteer work within the local community. So going over to the school and kind of teaching technology and other things to students who may otherwise might not have an opportunity to get that kind of training, to be able to do robotics, to teach them how to do coding, things of that nature. Those were things that excited me. And to see that you guys were doing similar things to bring the community and to bring those kinds of initiatives to the community was something that I was saying, like, I need to be all in on this. Okay. I need to be there.
I love it. I love it. And just hearing you just talk about the different aspects of technology, different skills, different ways for people to get plugged in. What is one thing that you are excited about for us to work on in 2024? There's a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different ways for us to get plugged in. But just from your vantage point, your experience, your passions, where is one area like, yes, 2024, let's go, let's dive into that area?
The area that I would see would be focused on resume writing and mock interviews, and just really focusing in on that area because, obviously you guys are doing your work. As a volunteer coordinator, I'm working with folks within NI to help with web development, data science, data analytics, cybersecurity. I mean, just various areas in software development and engineering, and the list goes on and on. But the thing about it is that when you really look at how individuals are creating and writing their resumes, and truly understanding and looking for those keywords and things that are important that companies are looking for, that is not something that they're just basically copying and pasting, that they can actually get something that's very specific. And so helping them to write their resumes and actually sit through a lot of the mock interviews. I think having individuals who are actually in the industry on a day-to-day basis, we know with those interviews, we know the things that people are looking for in order for hired into the industry. So being on top of that, I think that's something that going into 2024, that paying more attention to the mock interviews, the resume writings. Yes, we need the mentorships, we need those kinds of things. But if you guys can prepare them with the tool sets that they need to actually do the job, but selling themselves and being able to know the things and the right words and the right things to kind of carry over that interview, I think it's going to be extremely important to them being hired and getting those permanent positions to actually create a career as opposed to just having a day-to-day job.
Yeah, definitely agree, Veronica. And your experience is definitely shining, right? We see it, we hear it. So I agree with you on that aspect. And us being able to sell ourselves, being able to get in and make those opportunities, definitely makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
So then the last question I have for you, Veronica, as we transition is, you've been with us for a while now. You engage with other volunteers. You see the work that we do with NI. What has been a highlight and being a part of the AUTMHQ community?
Oh, wow. The highlight has been just sort of like, honestly, is the collaboration and the communication of what you do and your visibility within the community and how you actually run your organization. And so the passion and the commitment that you all have within your organization is something that I feel that is something that really kind of pulls me towards the thing that I see that I feel as an individual and as an employee of NI, that I can go out and say, if anyone is looking to advance their career, that they're looking for things, like I said, whether it's data analytics, cybersecurity, IT support, if there's a true support, and it's not just with Black and Brown, but the thing that I've seen as being a part of this organization is that you all honestly reach out to everyone. It's not just someone who's, that has a six-figure job. It's not someone who's barely making it, that may be homeless, but you truly are passionate to support the individuals that you guys are doing. So I've been really intrigued. I've been excited. And it's something that I can really, truly communicate to my peers in my industry and those that I work with in other organizations, that this particular organization has it. You guys have the thing that the people that are looking for those skill sets, you're diligently working to make sure that they actually have what they need to be successful in life. And that's been the highlight of me working with you guys since 2021.
Well, Veronica, thank you so much for that.
Yes.
I love that. And I'm excited to have Hannah and Ale work with you on those resumes, on those mock interviews, but also bring in our Marcom team so we could tell these stories, right? And be able to tell about the impact because we do a great job at being in the community and making sure that we tell those stories, show those stories, and show those impacts. Because if you don't, people are not going to know what you're doing, right? And then you got to be able to let them know the story versus having them make the story up themselves.
You got it.
Veronica, thank you so much for your time. That's all that we have. So I'll let you say your farewells, and I'll go ahead and close us out.
Well, thank you again, Michael, and thank you all for the opportunity to share this evening on this second day of the 12 day of autumn. Okay, so you guys have a great holiday.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Veronica. I definitely appreciate you being here. And now I'm going to go ahead and close us out and say, y'all, this is the end of the second day, but it's okay. We'll be back tomorrow for our game show. I am excited for that because we're going to dive into everything technology, things that's been happening here in Austin, here in Texas, but also across the globe. So please come back for our game show. There will definitely be prizes and an opportunity for us to continue to be engaged. And as always, we are accepting donations. So in the top right corner, you can scan the QR code and feel free to donate to our organization so we can continue helping Autmites going through our program and impacting the community in a positive way. So thank y'all so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.